Let you all open all your three eyes.
Om Nityananda Paramashivoham.
In this sacred manual of power manifestation, which serves as a scriptural authority containing the Shastra Pramanas, eternal unchangeable truths, Apta Pramanas, Atma Pramanas, Sakshi Pramanas, and Prataksha Pramanas, we present to you the various powers of Paramashiva. By this, we place before humanity the supreme authenticity of the power manifestation science established by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagat Guru Mahasanidhanam, His Divine Holiness Nityananda Paramashivam. Paramashiva has systematically revealed these powers in their purest forms as various techniques and revelations to experience pure oneness with Paramashiva. As a direct experience of oneness with Paramashiva, his Shaktis powerfully manifest in an initiated being at different levels of human consciousness, physicality, physiology, psychology, and neurology permanently. We offer these power manifestation manuals to celebrate your experience of oneness with the Supreme Paramashiva. Nityanandam.
Nityanandam, Jnanapadati Manual, under the guidance of Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasanidhanam, His Divine Holiness, Bhagavan Nityananda Paramashivam. Let's start with the Sadguru Vandanam. Nityanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gaganasadusham Tattvamasyaadilakshya Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Let's go through the disclaimers. Security measures. No photography, video, audio recording. Important cautions. Please be aware of the important cautions. What is spa manifestation? Let's hear from Bhagavan himself explaining what is spa manifestation.
All the 25 states of consciousness, when they happen in you due to your chemicals and hormones ups and downs, it is powerlessness. When it happens in you out of your free will and consciousness, it is powerfulness. That's all. When you fall into sleep, it is powerlessness. When you enter into sleep, it is powerfulness. When you fall into dream, it is powerlessness. When you decide to dream, it is powerfulness. So I have added the ultimate powerfulness, Turiyatita, in your whole being and doing. Manifest all the powers. Understand, power manifestation is nothing but cognitive shift. It is not work. It is cognitive shift. Understand? It is just cognitive shift. It's not work. Work is a 4-letter word. Power manifestation is cognitive shift, playing with life, playing with being alive. Static matter, dynamic activity, strategic existence, all these three has no boundary. You are one with it. You are alive in everything. Everything listens to you. Everything decides as you want. Power manifestation is cognitive shift, raising your frequency, not work.
Now let's understand who is Paramashiva. Bhagavan himself has beautifully explained the Paramashiva in all of us.
Paramashiva does manifestation, maintenance, rejuvenation, pulling out of delusion and liberation. He resides in his supreme Paramashiva Swarupa as Ajomuha or Adhomuha, unborn, beyond formlessness. Is Paramashiva Swarupa. That Paramashiva Swarupa manifests with these 5 faces as Sadashiva, Tatpurusha, Vamadeva, Ahora, Satyojata, Ishana. 5 faces he manifests and does the Panchakritya, Srishti, manifestation, Sthiti, sustenance, Samhara, rejuvenation, Trobhava, pulling out of delusion, Anugraha, liberation. Understand? He does all these 5 jobs. Through these 5 phases. Now listen carefully. Tatpurusham, Vamadevam, Satyojatam, Ahoram, Ishanam. These 5 phases does Panchakrityas. Each phase, each dimension is not just one F-A-C-E phase, P-H-A-S-E phase. It's not just F-A-C-E, P-H-A-S-E. Understand? The creation, not just creation getting created, even sustenance need to be created, destruction need to be created, and pulling out of delusion need to be created, liberation need to be created. Then creation, manifestation need to be maintained. Maintenance, sthiti itself need to be maintained. Destruction, samhara, the rejuvenation need to be sustained, maintained when it is happening. Pulling out of delusion, trobhava, need to be maintained when it is happening. And anugraha, liberation, need to be maintained when it is happening. Those micromilliseconds when it is happening. So understand, Satyojata Murti as 5 phase, Ishana Murti as 5 phase, Vamadeva Murti as 5 phase, Agora Murti has 5 phase, Tatpurusha Murti has 5 phase. So, Tatpurusha Murti as is 5 phase, Agora Murti has is 5 phase, Vamadeva Murti has is 5 phase, Satyojata Murti has his 5 phase, Ishana Murti has his 5 phase. All these 5 Murtis, 5 phases put together is 25 phases of Mahasadashiva.
Bhagavan beautifully explained Paramashiva. Now, who is His Divine Holiness, Bhagavan Nityananda Paramashivam? Let's hear from Bhagavan himself. Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness, Bhagavan Nityananda Paramashivam, is a reviver of Kailasha, the ancient Enlightenment civilization, the great cosmic borderless nation. Is an avatar from and is a Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. His Divine Holiness, Bhagavan Nityananda Paramashivam, has made Science of Power Manifestation Yoga temple-based university for humanity, Sovereign Order of Kailasha, led by His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Nityananda Paramashivam, and Nityananda Order of Monks, Nuns, Hindu diasporas are working for global peace to give superconscious breakthrough to humanity. Nityananda Hindu University, world's largest with extended campus in 150 countries, is collecting, organizing, preserving, time capsuling, decoding, spreading, and reviving 20 million source books of Hinduism and 64 sacred arts, science like Ayurveda, music, dance, sculpting, astrology, Vastu, and many more. His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Nityananda Paramashivam is 293rd Guru Mahasannidhanam of Shamalapita Sarvanyapita, ancient apex body of Hinduism and present emperor of Suryavamsa Surangi Swamrajyam. His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Nityananda Paramashivam has survived the worst persecution of multiple assassination attempts on person and character by anti-Hindu elements. Beautifully, Bhagavan now explains who is His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Nityananda Paramashivam.
Everything is infinitely powerful. You realize your potentiality. You establish yourself in the completion, space of completion. You are God, that's all. All of us are gods. The first experience is that I was able to see everything around me, above me, the whole 360 degree. I realized not only I was able to see, I was able to feel, experience the skin of the stone on rock on which I was sitting and the skin of this body. Both carry me equally. In both I exist equally. Sangha is a place where the tattvas are taught to you, and till it becomes satya, you are supported. Akhadas are basically founded by Sadashiva himself. All is ganas, Shiva ganas. Exactly the word gana means. In your length, breadth, depth, if you are filled by Shiva, you are Shiva gana. All the Shiva ganas formed the first Akhada. Later on, much later, Kapila Muni organizes Mahanirvani Akhada. Then all other Akhadas. As Mahamandaleshwar of Mahanirvani Akhada, the oldest apex body of Hinduism, I welcome every one of you. What I am teaching is from original Agamas Yogapada. The science very clearly declares, Sadashiva is very clear, manifestation of these powers happen when you experience oneness with Sadashiva. choose your guru, the best thing is find a person who is enlightened, experienced, who can play with energy, who can directly transmit experience to you, and who is in tune with the original Shastras, the source of the knowledge. All the revealed scriptures available about the yoga directly by Sadashiva for you to do research, study, practice, question the people who teach.
The science of power manifestation is a gift to the humanity, which is authentic, time-tested, scientific, and foolproof. Diksha, or the initiation from His Divine Holiness, Nityananda Paramashivam, makes the science directly an experience for the initiates. The experience is directly authenticated by the Pramanas. The Shastra Pramanas, the eternal, unchangeable truth revealed in the source scriptures, the Veda and Agamas. The Apta Pramanas, the experience of the Rishis, Munis, Ganas, Nayanamars, Alvars, and Siddhars, who are the authority of Hinduism, who have scientists who time-tested and verified the science of power manifestation. The Atma Pramanas are the avatar who land on the planet Earth to give a superconscious breakthrough to humanity. His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Nityananda Paramashivam, this millennium's avatar, personal experience of power manifestation. Shakshi Pramanas, or the experience of the millions of disciples, devotees, and followers initiated into the science of power manifestation by Bhagavan himself. Pratyaksha Pramanas, or the scientific studies which can be measuring the effect of being in the enlightened state. Powerful cognition from Bhagavan Satsang, Living Advaita.
You need to know one of the important truth is all this theology light does not work for life. I have seen so many theology light gurus. Means smile, be happy, blow your nose 7 times. Theology light means attending to problems as individual problems and having few solutions. I call them only as theology light gurus. Theology light is not theology right. Be very clear. Okay, it may give you that feel good feeling for a few days. But it is not eternally attending to the problem. Eternally attending to the life. Please understand. This you have to know. Theology light people always associate difficulty with the theology right, because they never got the theology right. That is why they started living and teaching with the theology light. I tell you, as the guru of theology right who got it, it is not difficult. It is not difficult. Whether it is a problem or a solution should be looked holistically. Theology light is not going to solve the life. As I said, they may give you little feel-good feeling, excitement, like positive thinking, creative visualization, how to stop worrying and start living. All this kind of how to win friends and influence people in your life, this kind of books, this kind of people, the self-help. personality development. Please understand. But they will never be able to give you cognitive shift. Theology right gives you cognitive shift. Theology light gives you intellectual coating. I am not the Guru who paints you with a new coat. I am the Guru who scraps even the base and clean the whole thing. Living tirelessly, without boredom, constantly. Your very thinking should be flowing with authenticity. Your very talking should be flowing with integrity. Your words, internal, external, should be completely in tune with integrity. Your thinking flow should be continuously with authenticity. The way you feel about life should be continuously responsible. You should know very clearly in your feeling, you are the source of everything. With that feeling, you should know you are responsible for everything. Continuously, your feelings should be filled with responsibility. Your living should be constantly enriching you and others. I tell you the secret. Only in the initial days it may look like you need to change some of the actions, routine, day-to-day life and all that. But soon you will find the change in the decision. First of all, even if there is a change in action, you don't struggle or suffer with it. Second, many places you may not even need the change in action. Change in thinking is what I teach. Change in action may happen as a subtext. The context of my teaching is change in thinking, decision making. Subtext may be change in actions, change in acts. Maybe side effect may be change in acts. But the original context with which I am teaching, the context which I am expecting you to operate, changing your decisions. There should not be anything in your life makes you powerless. I run out your whole day, nothing can make you powerless. Nothing can make you powerless. Anything which makes you powerless, don't accept, don't resist. For example, if you are afraid of becoming poor, if you are afraid of getting married, if you are afraid of death, if you are afraid of getting into the prison, that somebody may put you in prison, if you are afraid of taking sannyas, whatever may be the fear, don't accept, don't get married. When I say, please listen, if you have fear about poverty or sannyas or marriage or prison or death, whatever, don't accept that option. Same way, don't go on resisting that option by remembering. Please understand, by the time you resist, you already visualized which you are resisting, and half of your power has gone to the visualization. You are in the space of powerlessness. From powerlessness, when you resist, be very clear, it is only going to be failure. I have always seen the fellow who resists marriage, before he wakes up, he is married already. The fellow who resists poverty, before he wakes up, he is poor already. The fellow who resists jail, before he wakes up, he is in jail already. The fellow who resists death, before he wakes up, he is dead already. Resists jail, before he wakes up, he is in jail already. Do not resist and do not accept. Please understand, when you have to drop the resistance towards marriage, one part of you always frightens you. Then it means you want me to accept marriage? No, nobody tells you to get married. Nobody is ready to marry you, don't worry. It's not that marriage is that easy. And same way, nobody is ready to give sannyas to you, don't worry. It is not that sannyas is that easy. And nobody is ready to put you in jail, don't worry, that is not that easy. So much money, who will spend on your food and taking care of you? And nobody is interested in putting you in poverty, don't worry. Nobody has enough time to conspire and put you in poverty and take away all you have. No, don't worry. Understand, whatever you are afraid of, when you do not resist them, when you do not accept them, the inner circuit with which you built is revealed to you. You need to know the circuit to know which switch is connected to which equipment and to repair any wrong connections. All powerlessness is a wrong connection in your inner circuit. Wrong connection means fuse will go, that's all. All your depression means fuse has gone in you. Means some wrong connection. The fuse has gone. So understand, most of the time things which you resist, you think it's almost waiting in your door. If you fall asleep, he will enter and secretly he will be in your bed. Whether it is poverty or marriage or prison or sannyas or death, whatever you are afraid of, and I have not told many things, I only gave you some few examples which I heard from people, whatever they are afraid of. I can give you 1,000 examples, millions of examples, things people are afraid of. Some are afraid of waking up in the morning. No, I know. There are some who are afraid of going to bed early in the evening. They wake up so tired and go to bed so fresh. It means what? Wrong connection. The psychological routine and the physiological routine is not connected with completion. Waking up fresh from the space of Advaita, going to bed just to fall into the space of Advaita, means physiological routine and psychological routine is circuited with completion wire.
Now let's go to the Shastra Pramana.
Silicon. is taken from the Vijnana Bhairava Tantra, Sutra 120, Dharana 95. Kvachid vastuni vinyasya shanair drishtim nivartayet tajnanam chitta sahitam devi shunyalayo bhavet. Kvachid vastuni vinyasya shanair drishtim nivartayet tajnanam chitta sahitam devi shunyalayo bhavet.
Beautiful. Shastra Pramana are the eternal, unchangeable truth revealed in the source scriptures. Vijnana Bhairava Tantra, Sutra 120, Dharana 95. Bhagavan Paramashiva says, having fixed one's eyes on a particular object, Vastu, one should slowly withdraw the sight from the object as well as slowly eliminate the knowledge of the object along with the thought and impression of it. Then, O Devi, one abides in Sunya, the stable state where there is nothing other than this exist, which is a state of all-inclusive or infinity. Bhagavan beautifully says, what is completion? How we can complete and live in four tattva, that the simple space of Advaita, oneness, wake up in Advaita, go to sleep in Advaita, completely be in completion. Bhagavan beautifully used to say to the Balasans that Abhayam Sarva Bhudebhyo, when you go to sleep, like how if you had a big tent, carnival, and you pull down all the tent and then set it back, and every night when you go to sleep, pull all your tent, whatever you have your schools, colleges, workplace, family, finance, anything, pull down all the tent and close it and be in the no conflict zone and come reside in the Advaita space, just in pure conscious space. Bhagavan beautifully says as Abhayam Sarva Bhudebhyo, conflict free living space when you go to sleep. When you wake up with such an intensity and continuity that you are so alive to take the responsibility of life and enrich the world. Simply being in the integrity and authenticity in thinking, the ultimate. Bhagavan says he teaches only thinking, decision making, that you are the source of the highest order, the ultimate. You are Paramashiva. Whether you are integrated to your whatever action you're doing, or authentic to what you're doing, or taking the responsibility of the life, or enriching the world, from the context that you are the source of everything, the decision that you make, from the understanding you're the very core, very source, how your body functions, every part of your body is functioning from only that context, simple Advaita context, that everything in your body is infinitely happening and coordinating with each other in such a synchronicity, just like the universe. Understanding whether your body or the universe is happening in such a order, even the order in chaos and chaos in the order, such a order, organized way, it is all happening, whether it is creation, maintenance, rejuvenation, or pulling out of delusion or liberation. Bhagavan says everything is happening in order in your body and in the cosmos, microcosm and macrocosm. If we understand that everything is already happening and we just need to align to what is happening and be in the space of thinking only in that I am ultimate, I am Paramashiva, I exist in everything, I am the reality, and I exist as in oneness with everything, that Paramashiva will manifest through me as Parashakti, as my reality. Whether it is cup of coffee or some financial great decision, everything go by Paramashiva manifest through me as Parashakti. Life is a manifestation. Life is not work. Life is not hard work. Life is not taking responsibility as working. Taking responsibility in holding the context that everything is happening as the space of oneness, Paramashiva is manifesting through you. All the responsibility that you take for life only from this context and contributing to everybody's life, the enriching continuously happens, then you are pulled out of delusion. Enriching, Bhagavan says, is pulling out of delusion. You are pulling yourself out of the thought current of outer world. And causing the people is how you are living. It gets mirrored into others. The causing is liberation itself. You cause others to the highest reality. You are caused to highest reality. The more the enriching causing happens, more reality is what we can start experiencing. The more and more we live as Paramashiva, as your only source, Bhagavan says, when you're integrated to that alone again and again, that Paramashiva is manifesting, Paramashiva is talking, Paramashiva is walking, Paramashiva is experiencing. Oh, this is what Paramashiva wants us to do. Oh, that is what Paramashiva is showing us. Everything with the conversation that Bhagavan is giving us, every step for us to execute in life, whether it is word, whether it is thought, whether it is action, everything aligned to Paramashiva. Bhagavan beautifully says, making that decision is all I want to happen. That is all I'm asking. Make the decision to make the thinking change. Nothing in the outer world, no hard work. Only the work is in the fighting the war inside us. Nothing Bhagavan is asking us to alter in the outer world. He only says, outer world, detox your body, do the yoga. Only the physical things we need to do in the outer world. Otherwise, all the responsibility, all the enrichment, all the causing, everything else is done from the inner space. The inner space manifests as reality. So go on, go on. Start holding the cognition. I am Paramashiva. Everything that exists is Paramashiva. And I am celebrating the whole moment of Paramashiva. Be in the moment and experience the ultimate by unclutching and ajaba ajaba. Bhagavan gives the ultimate technique for us to be in super completion and not to accept, not to reject, but just surrender to get the revelation from everything. Bhagavan bows down to everything because he wants to know from everything what is need to know for us. Paramashiva continuously guides us to everything and manifest our reality. Now with this powerful cognition, let's go to Apta Pramana. Apta Pramana from the Mahabharata book, Adi Parva, Shambhava Parva section, section 61, page number, or 111, page number 235. Power of finding the password. Kunti receiving the secret mantra from the sage Durvasa, through which she can bear sons, invoking the energy of Devas. This is a beautiful boon she got for serving Durvasa. So dedicatedly she was serving, and she got a boon. Once Durvasa with his followers visited Kunti Boha, the adopted father of Kunti. The young Kunti was in charge of taking care of the sages. As a gratitude to her service, Durvasa Rishi gave her the mantra, which while repeating one can attract any god to give birth a child. After her marriage with Pandu, she used the mantra again with permission of Pandu, as he was incapable of having a marital life with Kunti. Because of the curse, she attracted 3 gods in succession and had 3 children. Thus, she had Dharmaputra for Dharmavendra, Dharmadeva, Bhishma from Marut, and Arjuna from Indra. Later, she shared this special mantra with Mandri, the second wife of Pandu. And Mandri eventually had 2 sons, Nakula and Sahadeva, from Ashwini Kumaras. And Kunti also had one from Surya. Before she got married, she tried it playfully with Surya, and that was Karna. All this great way of how the technology advanced they lived in just chanting the mantra and remembering the God, and simply the baby was alive and beautiful in their hands. Such a easy and such a powerful space they all lived as divine as human beings, only the source as their context. With that, let's go to Atma Pramana. Atma Pramanas are the Leelas of Bhagavan. Atma Pramana, Bhagavan himself narrates.
To maintain my hygiene, and for that I am practicing. Those things are different. But there are some spiritual practice I do. In that, this attitude of imbibing is one. Understand? It may be completely negative information book or something wrong, but even to that, I go with the attitude of imbibing. When you go with the attitude of imbibing, anything gives you enlightenment. Try to imbibe, try to have this. Try this as a process. It will be very funny in the beginning. Sit in the house, take half an hour and decide mentally to pay your respect to every object which is in front of your eyes. Maybe the carpet or the photograph or the wall or the chair, anything which is around you. Please understand, you can learn the habit of imbibing and submission only with the objects which are around you first. If you cannot respect, if you cannot humbly submit yourself in front of the chair which is in your house, or the shoes which are in your house, or the wall which are holding your roof, you cannot submit yourself to God. If you imagine God and imagine your submission, it will only be ego playing with ego, that's all. First try with something objective in front of you. Don't expect you should be humble only in front of divine objects. What is divinity? When you add humbleness, it becomes divine, that's all. So if you add humbleness, everything will become divine. Add humbleness to your life. Let the life itself become divine. Attitude of imbibing. Attitude of receiving. Even now, I go on practicing it. There are some practices which is supposed to be done even beyond enlightenment. There are some you can't do beyond enlightenment. Unclutching, ajapa, japa, all this you can't do beyond enlightenment. There won't be, it is not possible because the frequency is so different, you won't be able to do. But this attitude of imbibing, actually attitude of imbibing is radiating enlightenment. Unclutching, ajapa, japa, is living enlightenment. Once you become enlightened, over. But enlightenment constantly exploding happens only with the attitude of imbibing. Only with the attitude of imbibing, enlightenment goes on happening in you. Whether I sit in front of TV, I may be watching only the news. Even then you will see for a moment, I'll remind myself to the attitude of humble submission and imbibing. I tell you, by humble submission and imbibing, you will never be a fool, you will never be cheated. You will only imbibe exactly what is required. You will never be cheated. The attitude of imbibing. If you go with that attitude, every stone will become God. Every person will become God. Every object will become God. Everything will become divine. I tell you, one of the important ingredient in my life for my joy is attitude of imbibing with everything. With everything, I tell you. When you are in the attitude of imbibing, anything merges in you. But when you are with the attitude of arrogance, you are broken and made to merge with others. I tell you the secret. The life, if you are with the attitude of imbibing, merges into you and enriches you. If not, it breaks you and swallows you. The same teeth of the cat is death for the rat and holding jaw for kitten. The same teeth does not hurt the kitten, but it kills the rat because the instruction given from behind. Life as the teeth with the imbibing mood, it will be protecting you. With the attitude of arrogance, it will be killing you. Please understand. With the attitude of imbibing, see how beautifully this whole Madhurayadhyam responsibility I have imbibed, and it has only enriched me. All these fights have not taken away 1 inch of my confidence. My confidence only has grown. This fight, this struggle, nothing. It has not touched me at all. Not even one moment I felt, why did I come and take this responsibility? No. Anybody else would have felt, what am I lacking? Dhyanapidam has everything. Why do I need to come and sit here? Actually, the real fight is, they know I represent the national religion. That is where the fight is. Understand? It is so unfortunate, one segment of Tamilians, especially deep south, does not want to mix with the mainstream India. It is that struggle. They know I represent the mainstream India's religion, about which they are afraid. These fools are talking, I don't know, Shaivism. And not only that, they know I represent a huge possibility and new updation. I also wanted to announce that 4 places, the hospitals are starting, the places, everything has been finalized, and furnitures are getting bought. Furnitures and machineries are landing. We are expecting by June 5th, we will announce the inauguration of all 4 hospitals. 20-bedded hospitals. 4 20-bedded charitable hospitals. Each hospital is 20-bedded, 2 doctors and 4 nurses. All the basic facilities and the life-saving medical care will be available within this June 5th. And they know the speed with which we will work. And I represent the collective sentiments of all the Hindus. There is a very famous Vishnu temple, Alagar temple, Kallalagar temple. That deity only gathers largest gathering of South India. Please understand, largest gathering in South India is 1 crore people gathering for the Kallalagar appearing in Vaigai temple, Vaigai river. That's the largest gathering of human beings in South India. In North India is Kumbh Mela. This is almost like South Indian Kumbh Mela. After the coronation, I went to the temple to offer my respect. Usually I go there to Kallalagar temple, but after the coronation I went there to offer my respects and devotion, prayers. The temple authorities have told me, Swamiji, you are the first Shaiva mutt head entered our premises. Can you imagine? No, please understand. No, I am not happy about it. I am not happy about this information. Can you imagine? He says, I am here as the in charge for last 50 years. He's an elderly person. 50 years, the chief priest. He says, neither my father ever told me, nor I have ever seen a single Shaivite mutt head entering this campus. Do you understand the subsect divisions with which we are suffering? And it is not somewhere far. And it is not the unpopular temple. Actually, I told Tirumala Devasthanam, Tirupati temple authorities that I am coming. They said, we will receive you with all the respects. You are the first Shaivite mutt head who wants to come here. I am actually going after the Guru Puja, June 5th. Actually, 292 Guru Mahasanidhanam is very open person. He is not the fanatic type.
Now we'll go to the Shakshi Pramana. Shakshi Pramana for finding the password. So here we have the power of silicon. Patel, they were able to, when they gathered, they were able to find the password, and Bhagwan's blessing, he says, more and more power manifestation is the only solution. You have to manifest power like crazy. Mind reading, body scanning, and everybody were amazed at his finding the password.
Pratyaksha Pramana, scientific studies, what can be measured, measuring the effect of being in enlightenment state.
Any silicon based electronic objects, you will be able to handle it just by your will. You don't need to touch. I have programmed anything which runs by this silicon and the chip based or memory, hard drive, means laptop, iPad, cell phone, anything which runs by electrical and that electronics energy. Just 3-4 days before, I was just trying to play with my iPad, whether that is listening to me. I said, started just listening to me. I said, this app, switch off, it gets off. Without typing the password, open, it opens. And I just said, go to this app store, went and download the messenger, downloaded. It was continuously doing. Then I decided, let me convert this into software and initiate as a power to everyone. Very casually only I did. And also by tomorrow you guys will be having a software. I'm preparing it. Any battery, you just hold in your hand, it will be charged. Any battery. From the air, it will produce energy. Actually, I have done it already. I am converting that into a software. That work is going on. Maybe today, after initiation, I will be in Samadhi. That time I will finish that software work. Actually, whenever I am in Samadhi, I do all this software writing. This power software writing. And I have also tightened and closed all the loops, loose ends in this RAIN software. See, RAIN is related to length, breadth, depth, all the three. It was too much for many of you guys to swallow yesterday. It was too strong. So I have completed all the, tightened all the loose ends. Today you guys will see. It really becomes 100% success. The RAIN power, the power over the Vatavarana, after tightening all the loose ends. That is one. Second, any gadgets which runs electrically, electronically, you will be able to control it by will. Operate it, do anything you want with will. Two things. This Jnananjanam I will send it, all of you have. And after having, I'll initiate you guys. Then, the first step where you are supposed to bring rain, write that, keep it under the Krishna Shila, give instruction and leave it. Leave it for 42 minutes. That time don't waste, start playing with the gadgets. Give the instruction and keep the Krishna Shila. Once you give the instruction, that is enough. It does not need to be constantly followed up. You only need to follow up that place, what is happening there. Then pick up any electronic objects you want to play, just put it on the Krishna Shila. Let the Nityananda Yogam participants ask what the Balasant should do. You pen down the instruction, your request. The Balasant will do that. You give that instruction, it will do. Any object. It does not need to be only Balasant's objects, Balasant's iPhones. You keep your iPhone, they will open it. It will open, it will get switched on, it will download the apps or delete whatever you want, you write and give them. Always all your requests should be in writing. And then after they perform, you tick or cancel. Any command, only 3 minutes. If it takes more than 3 minutes, cancel, means they are not done it. Go for the next command. Any command only maximum 3 minutes. The rain only 42 minutes. If it is more than 42 minutes, crash, it has not happened, go for the next. Second, start the next place. Understand? So that is the way the fluttering will settle down. And it will become part of your biomemory. There were some of the loose ends, means, I should say, it was too much for your biomemory to grasp, it was too big bite. So many of the biomemories, it got stuck in the throat and unable to digest. First of all, even you are not able to, many of you guys are not able to grasp that it is possible. If you are integrated to that core, that's enough. You will manifest powers. You see, if you sat with your Balasant, 3 times if they have made the rain happen, then the entanglement as Shakti Nipada has happened with you. Now you can start. For example, 3 of you are sitting with one Balasant. If that Balasant has made 3 times rain happen, all 3 of you now you can start with your Krishna Shilas. You will start manifesting. 3 times is enough time for the Shakti Nipada to happen to you. Same way these gadgets. If you see them, if you are sitting with them and 5 commands they are making it successful, Shakti Nipada has happened to you, now you can start. Because you are not that strong to protect you from Shakti Nipada more than certain period. Once they make 3 times rain happen, immediately your core opens up for the Shakti Nipada. If 5 times you see your Balasant successfully making the commands on the electronic objects, then you can start doing, it will work. It will work for you. That much Shakti Nipada only is required. This is almost like a second Garbha Mandir. Structured form, like a Surya, sun. His sun is sunny. Sunny is his sun. Sometimes the part you deny comes and appears as your sun. And Surya's one wife, Usha, means is light. Chaya, all is self-hatred. Shade is opposite to the light. See, all is self-love comes as Usha, self-hatred comes as Chaya. So the whole Graha structure is nothing but our integrity, authenticity, completion, responsibility and enriching expression. Maybe when I find time, I'll sit and explain in detail and give you guys a session on that. Yes. All you guys settle down and close your eyes for a few minutes. I'll finish the initiation. You can open your eyes. You can start manifesting both the powers now. So, now the Nityananda Yogam participants can decide where the rain should happen. You can even keep 2-3 places, no problem. Write as a slip, but find out there should not be weather forecast there. Make sure there is no weather forecast there, rain. You see, under one Krishna Shila, one Balasant can keep even 2-3 places. That's not a problem. But the Balasant should visualize all the 2-3 places and give instruction. Sadashiva says in one place, even drinking alcohol, the karma will not be carried once the liver is destroyed. Means it will not come to you in the next Janmandal. And each of the vows you take, whether during the marriage or during the other kind of initiations, the vows are taken on Jadaragni, means the Agni, fire in the stomach. Once that settles over, that sins related to that does not come with you. The breaking of those vows does not come with you. It is left here. For example, if I have to give example, you take a vow on the Jadaragni that I will not steal others' things, but you steal. That karma will not come to you in the next Janma. It will come only as long as the Jadaragni is alive. Once the Jadaragni goes away, means once you are dead, during the death, Jadaragni is taken away. So after that, that karma doesn't come. For example, on Jadaragni only you take the marriage vows. All the Saptapadi is taken on Jadaragni in Agama. So if you break the marriage vows, karma does not come to you in the next Janmandal. Once the Jadaragni goes away, it goes away. That's all. It doesn't come after that. But if you miss the integrity with the Guru, that goes into biomemory and gets carried to Janmas. Gets carried to Janmas. Understand? Because the relationship with Guru is biomemory level, deepest level. It's a level of relationship and level of commitment only based on that, how much of what karma comes with you and what karma does not come with you. Nothing else. Cosmos does not recognize property. Means ownership is not recognized in cosmos. This is mine, that is yours. That is not recognized in cosmos. That is recognized only in the local law. Marriage is not recognized in cosmos. It's not recognized in cosmos. It's only recognized in your locality and in your society. But integrity is recognized to the cosmos. It is the spindle on which the lokas circulate, lokas spin around. Understand? You all need to know, the Vedic tradition says the whole, the universe you know is going around the earth. This is the sun, this is the earth. Earth is going around the sun physically. Means the timing you know. But cosmically if you see billion year, sun is also going around. Sun itself is going around. This is billion year, it is 1 year. That is why you always think about the 1 year and forget this billion year. Based on this only the yugas are counted. Understand, the whole universe, the spindle, Standila is planet Earth. Because only here consciousness is alive. The spindle, you guys know only about the horizontal universe. In the vertical universe, this is the spindle. Below Bhatala,
Adala, Sudala, Talatala, Batala, Boo. The whole thing you know is Boo. The whole Milky Way. Everything is Boo. Above, Bhuva, Swa, Tapa. In this whole spindle, the spindle goes through the planet Earth. That is why the Upanishads and Vedas say planet Earth is the center and everything goes round. So the whole thing you know, end of the day, in billion year, goes round the planet Earth. Earth is flat as per Vedas, because whatever you know as Bhu is called as Earth in Vedic tradition. Not just this planet Earth, this ball. Whatever you know, the whole Milky Way is called as planet Earth, called as Bhu in Vedic tradition. Earth is flat as per the Veda is right. Because the definition of Bhu is not this planet. All the grahas you know put together is the Milky Way is described as Bhu in Vedic tradition. That is flat. Actually, I am writing the software. The kids will start writing all the planet transitions, results and the impacts. They will start writing the Rasi Balan. I'm going to download that software into them. That is why the whole graha is going inside me. Grahas are running around inside me. Maybe next 4 or 5 days. That's what. All the transits she gave, the pala, she will start writing. Not only she, the whole group will start writing the pala for each Rashi. Now I am preparing this whole software that they will be able to give a precise predictions for each Rashi and Nakshatra for about each transition. Based on the Shastra Pramana I am preparing. And they will also write the original verse. Why they are coming to this conclusion. The whole thing I am putting it in one software. So now please start. The team, ask your Balasant where you want to rain. You want the rain to happen. Find out that there is no forecast. Each of the place and give instruction. Let it rain with thunder and lightning. After finishing the instruction, then you can start playing with the gadgets, electronic gadgets. Any gadget you keep it on the Krishna Shila and tell whatever you say it will listen. Length is only one power in that 400. In that 460, around 460, I have laid my hands as on now. In that 460, whole length is only one power. And whole depth is only one power. The depth now, with that you will do multiple things, that is different. But the whole depth is only one power. And these are all the powers which is not directly described in Agama, which is the side effect of the Agamic powers, like a Ishta Siddhi or Sankalpa Shakti. These are the side effects of that one power, Sankalpa Shakti. Ishta Siddhi, Ishitva. Ishitva's side effect is all this. One part of Ishitva.
Swamiji or Sri Nityananda Paramashivam tells us that I am personally sitting and manifesting powers into silicon, so it reverberates the sarvanyatva of my brain. He says, I have just multiplied myself to 7 billion to assist each one of you in a customized way. The way you want, that is enlightened app, understand? I am personally sitting and manifesting powers into silicon, so it reverberates the sarvanyatva of my brain, the all-knowingness of my superconsciousness, so it decodes through artificial intelligence assistance all the knowledge repository of the revealed scriptures, Vedas and Agamas, understand. The energizing of the silicon is directly from my bioenergy, not from any other electricity. So the artificial intelligence is equipped with the vibrations and signals directly from the power manifestation. the super consciousness of Paramashiva, so it decodes all the revealed scripture, Vedas, and Agamas through the artificial intelligence.
I've just multiplied myself to 7 billion to assist each one of you in a customized way, the way you want. That is Enlighten app. Understand? I am personally sitting and manifesting powers into silicon, so it reverberates the sarvanyatva of my brain, the all-knowingness of my superconsciousness. So it decodes through artificial intelligence assistance all the knowledge repository of the revealed scriptures, Vedas and Agamas. Understand? The energizing of the silicon is directly from my bioenergy, not from any other electricity. So the artificial intelligence is equipped with the vibration and signals directly from the power manifestation, the superconsciousness of Paramashiva. So it decodes all the revealed scriptures, Vedas and Agamas through the artificial intelligence. Understand? Whether cows and lions speaking in English or Sanskrit or Tamil, or the flights, aircrafts, vimanas for different dimensions of the universe, are bending the time into time traveling, are manifesting multiple powers, raising the quality of your existence, raising the quality of your Kundalini Shakti, awakening multiple layers of DNA, everything, understand, in everything. Decoding of all the revealed scriptures of Vedas and Agamas done in my superconsciousness by the grace of Paramashiva is now getting done through artificial intelligence in technology. Already the software is ready and the conscious software, superconscious software is ready and it is getting downloaded. The work has started. And customizing it for your biomemory, mapping the cosmic principles to your biomemory, and awakening your biomemory. So casually, spontaneously, without any struggle, you start living these great powerful cognitions and manifesting the powers and realities you want to manifest. Mapping it precisely so you don't have to struggle. All struggle, trial and error is done by me, finished. You are given a precise words, sounds, which awakens your biomemory.
Silicon. Cheap, plentiful, insulating, and a great semiconductor. Silicon is a chemical element with the symbol Si and atomic number 14. It is a hard, brittle, crystalline solid with a blue-gray metallic luster and is tetravalent, metalloid, and a great semiconductor. Silicon is the 8th most common element in the universe by mass, but very rarely occurs as a pure element in the Earth's crust. It is most widely distributed in space in cosmic dust, planetoids, and planets as various forms. The late 20th century to early 21st century has been described as a silicon age, also known as the digital age or information age. Silicon is the element that driven the biggest changes in our modern lives. Silicon chips in computers, phones, and all sorts of other gadgets have revolutionized both the way we work and the way we play, while optical fibers made from silica crisscross the globe to create the communication networks at the heart of our connected world. Silicon is the best electronic material not only because of its semiconductor properties, it has the important advantages for being cheap and plentiful. With silicon being the second most abundant element in Earth's crust after oxygen, and thin insulating layers needed for transistor structures are easy to make by heating silicon wafers in a furnace to form stable silicon dioxide. Every beach sand has its own unique signature. Sand from different beaches has its own unique sound, and researchers have figured out how to listen in, The Economist reports. Sand, which is a valuable commodity, is often taken illegally for construction projects and artificial beaches. India even has its own sand mafia. To find out where a sample of sand comes from, scientists drop it in acid, which breaks down the sand's carbonate chemicals made from the shell of a long dead sea creatures into carbon dioxide bubbles. Using sensitive listening devices, the researchers measure how the bubbles change the way sound travels through the mixture, yielding a unique frequency. When scientists listened to sand samples from several different beaches in the Netherlands, they found that each had a unique signature. They report in Applied Acoustics.